guys, Chris here, the RC Geek. Welcome back. If you saw my E-flite T-6 Texan review, you saw the results of the repaint I did on that airplane. I thought it would be worth doing a separate video on what I did since, it was literally a quick and dirty spray can job that I did over the weekend. And all of the painting was done over the stock paint with minimal prep. So this is worth discussing because, sometimes we just don't want to go to the extent of filling panel lines or sealing up the airframe with polyacrylic or anything like that. Sometimes we just want to do something quickly but still get good results. The difficulty always is, however, that darn stock paint just loves to lift up off of that EPO. Thankfully, with the right tools, we can avoid that. Alright, so let's get into it, and hopefully at the end, you'll be excited and inspired to give a repaint a try. It's not hard, and knowing the right tools to use always helps. So, let's go! Alright, first of all, let's talk about what we need. What we're doing here is literally just applying a new paint job over an existing stock paint job. This can be tricky, so it's important that we use very low tack tape for masking. I'd heard about frog tape for this and found that it worked fantastically. Paint lifting was not an issue, only having just a few small places that it lifted. In those cases, I used post-it notes to mask off and touch up paint. These were the only items used when masking, and then I used paper towels taped down with frog tape to avoid, overspray. One thing with the frog tape, you can get pretty darn good paint separation lines too when you rub down the edges a little bit with your fingers, and then avoid applying the paint too wet when you spray. The last thing is paint. I used exclusively the 2x coverage Rust-Oleum paint, and it worked great. It's cheap and it's easy and actually sprays pretty well. You should be able to use most spray paints on EPO as it's extremely resilient stuff, but obviously test it first. But I haven't found a spray paint yet that didn't work on EPO, and I've used all kinds. Now, in terms of the model prep, there wasn't much to do really. The important one was to pull up the stickers. I'd heard about freezing stickers to lift them up and ended up giving that a try. The marking lifted up easily, but then it left all of the sticky residue on the surface. So getting that off was kind of a nightmare and far more work than just dealing with lifted paint. So once I cleaned up that mess, I simply lifted up the stickers, paint and all, and then wet sanding the areas with 600 grit sandpaper, especially around the edges to get rid of any step downs from the paint pull. From there, I sprayed a coat of white primer over the model to even out the surfaces and then give it a base coat color for the silver. The silver needed this either way, otherwise it would have ended up uneven. So it worked out well in that sense. Then, if needed, I did a second 600 grit sanding if there were areas that still bugged me. And then from there, went on to painting. Before we talk about painting the airframe, let's talk about the paint really quick. So in the case here, I simply used Rust-Oleum spray paints. Nothing special really. It's inexpensive and it's actually pretty decent paint. The paint colors are metallic for the silver, which really looks like polished aluminum, midnight blue, apple red, and white. All the 2x coverage variety. Now, painting the airplane first started with the prep we talked about. First color applied was the silver, since this is the base color and most colors cover over silver without any problem. From there, it was on to painting the red, white, and blue pattern on the underside of the wing and tails, and the rudder, and then the cowl. So for the wings and tails, once painted silver, I masked off the bottoms to receive the red, white, and blue. I started by masking the whole area off first, spraying it all white. From there, we mask off for the red and then the blue independently, and that really was mostly it. When you apply the tape, make sure to press those edges down well to help seal it up. Also, avoid applying paint super wet, especially on the first coat. With this tape, it's those wet coats that will result in paint bleed. Also, be patient and avoid rushing to lift the tape up. Allow the paint to dry fully, and when you're pulling the paint up, pull it back over itself, and that should help minimize paint pulling. With the wings and tails done, I masked and painted the rudder next. It was painted in exactly the same way as the wings. I taped the whole area off first, painted the rudder white, and then masked off for the red, and lastly for the blue to finish it up. To make the tape strips, I used the frog tape and applied it to my cutting mat, and then cut the desired width strips that I needed, and then applied those to the surface. The rudder hinge area gave me some fits with paint pulling, and I actually had a little bleed too on the stripes. So to fix this, I back masked the affected areas with post-it notes and then reapplied the necessary paint. The post-it notes are great for this, and they have the perfect level of tack. You can even use them to mask whole airplanes, but you know, the frog tape is certainly a quicker option. Now lastly, it was onto the cowl, which again was painted in the exact same manner. Generally speaking, you always want to paint light to dark colors, so that was the approach. The irony is, as worried as I was with pulling paint off the EPO airframe, it was actually the cowl that gave me the most problems. And it was ultimately because of what I was using for masking. I wanted to save time, and so I decided to cut strips on my vinyl cutter for the stripes. Well, that was my mistake, as that vinyl lifted up the paint right off the plastic. I didn't do that once, but I did that twice. Thankfully, third time was a charm once I went back to cut strips with the frog tape and masked it that way. One thing to note, to get the radial mask around the cowl for the blue, I cut a 1/4 inch strip of frog tape and applied that. At that width, you know, you can curve the tape around contours pretty easily. So to wrap it all up, the black anti-glare and wing walks were painted, and that finished it all up. This was all done with frog tape, nothing else. You know, once painted, it was on to applying the markings, which I had made by Graphics, and they really turned out fantastic. They're all printed and cut vinyl, so there's no carrier film or anything like that, and they're easy to apply. Well, most of the time. In the case of the cowl stars, we didn't quite get the pattern right, which meant that I ended up having to place them all one at a time. So that was fun. You know, it was definitely worth the time spent to get it right. Alright guys, so here's the final result, and I absolutely love how the airplane came out. The silver really pops on the airframe, and those splashes of red, white, and blue are just awesome. And I love that big star and bar on the bottom. So this really was a quick and dirty paint job. You know, I worked on the paint off and on over the course of a long weekend. And as a guess, it was maybe about 12 hours spent overall. Now, seeing the airplane in the air, it just looks amazing. It has such different presence compared to the stock scheme, and the colors just look great. Flying it on the same 2200 mAh pack I did before painting, I didn't notice any difference in the performance. The airplane actually seemed a bit faster to me. I forgot to weigh the airplane beforehand, but the overall weight gain was, I'm guessing, only a couple ounces, which is well within the differences you'll find using different battery C ratings and capacities. As the airplane sits now, you know, without the battery, it weighs 57 ounces. You know guys, filling in panels and all that is great, but sometimes you just want to do something quick and easy. Sometimes that's all that's needed to really refresh a model, and the techniques we talked about here really can be done in a short amount of time. So give it a try and let me know if you have questions down in the comments. In this case, it really is about using the right tape to avert disaster. EPO is great, but that stock paint really loves to lift up, and frog tape and post-it notes really are the answer to that. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. I have an article with links to everything on my blog, thercgeek.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you'd like to see my review on the E-flite Texan, you can see that here, or if you'd like to see the full flight video of the refinished AT-6, you can see that down here. Thanks again guys, and until next time, I'll see you at the field.